he's laughing because he thinks it's a joke. My feelings are a joke to him, I guess. Are they a joke to you, Miguel? Are they funny? Is it funny? Well, you're saying, of course not, but you're smiling. Then he's cracking himself up, saying he would help me. Now, mind you, his foot had the rot for months, and I took care of him. Okay? Took care of him like the loving wife that I am. This dude talking about he don't want to touch my foot because it looks like it's going to burst and I'm going to have gravy everywhere. I laugh to keep from crying. Okay? That's okay. I'm going to hobble in here, I guess. And I'm just going to get the foot bath and scrub out your foot yuck that you left in it. I know you didn't clean it properly.
I did.
You lie.
It's your girl, Courage Molina, pastor and Christian business coach. I help purpose-driven women to build extraordinary faith so they can take action and courageously level up in their life and in their business. If you are all about that, then you are in the right place. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss all of the amazing videos that I drop every week on Wednesday nights and live stream Saturday morning. Thanks so much for being here. Do you know what today is? Yes, you heard Tony. Today is my anniversary. I have been a wife for 21 years. 21 years married. What I want to share with you today is just some marriage advice. I've learned a lot in the 21 years that I've been a wife. And the advice that I want to share with you today is it's great whether you are the wife or the husband. It is great. Even if you're not married, this is just great advice if you want to have strong, supportive, healthy relationships. And this advice is great no matter what. But before I get into the advice, I want to share with you, just some of the highlights, a little bit of our love story. So here we go. I know, we were so young, right? Like, wow. And I feel like this. Let me just tell y'all, I feel like we really had a glow up. Okay. Like, we looked a certain way a long time ago. And I feel like we definitely look better right now. Wouldn't you guys agree? We look good now, y'all. All right, let's get into this marriage advice. You are responsible for your response. That is, if you don't get anything else, I feel like that is great. How I respond in any given situation is really on me. Right? I decide how I respond. I'm in control of myself. We know that part of the fruit of the spirit is self-control. Okay, self-discipline. So you faith people, that mean you got it. You can control yourself. I know a lot of times it's like, oh, well, I just couldn't help myself. It's funny that we say that, like we can't control ourselves. But if we're arguing with our husband or yelling at our kids, and then somebody comes to the door, or we decide to pick up the phone, we can shut off that angry attitude in like a second, right? Hi. Okay, yeah, thanks so much. And then we close the door, we hang up the phone. Okay, just like you exercise self-control to shut that down, you can do that in the heat of a warm conversation with your spouse or a full-on, argument. You are responsible for your response. So that is number one. The second one is you have to take responsibility for your own happiness. Now, I know you are probably thinking, where is the spouse's responsibility in all this? But here's the thing. If you cannot manage your own happiness, then how can you expect for your spouse to do things to make you happy, to keep you happy? That's heavy weight. That's very heavy. That's a lot to put on a person. So now not only are you responsible for all these other things that I've deemed you responsible for, but you're also responsible for my happiness, my emotional state. That ain't it, right? You are responsible for your own happiness. So you have to take responsibility for your happiness. What does that mean? It means if you like romantic dinners and your spouse doesn't plan romantic dinners, then plan romantic dinners because they make you happy. It means if you like surprises, then plan surprises. Why? Because surprises make you happy. Take responsibility for your happiness. You love fresh flowers. You want fresh flowers every week. Purchase your fresh flowers every week because that makes you happy. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of being like, oh, I'm going to go unhappy, or I'm going to be unhappy all week long because he didn't pick up flowers from the florist or from the bodega or from the grocery store. Like, where are you? Do you have $12? Do you have $12? That was an alarm saying it's time for you to get a life and get your own flowers. If flowers make you happy, you're responsible for your own happiness. So you have to take responsibility for that and not place that on your spouse. The third piece of advice I have for you is to fix yourself first, which kind of goes in hand with the last one, right? But you have to fix yourself first. Let me tell you something. There is nothing that I want more than to fix all the things that are wrong with my spouse. Right? I just, as a wife, I'm like, I want to fix this. I want to fix this. I want to fix this, right? We love them, but there's like a laundry list of things that we would like to fix. Here's the problem. When I set my mind on a task of fixing someone else, right? In this example, my spouse, then I operate as if I don't need any fixing myself. And the truth is, as great as you are, please, honey, you have some things that you need to fix. Fix yourself first. Get yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, in order or healthy first. And my thing is, and I'm saying doing it first because the truth is, you will find, listen, especially people of faith, you will find that your job of fixing yourself and being focused on yourself and what needs to be fixed, it's a never-ending list of things that you could do better, of things that you could do to be more in alignment with your values, to be more like Christ. Like the list, child, will never end. So if you focus on you, right? Let me focus on getting myself together mentally. Let me focus on getting myself together emotionally. Let me take care of myself physically, spiritually. Let me focus on that. That's going to bring so much love and joy and longevity to your marriage, honey. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. My next piece of advice, listen, now y'all might not like this, but I'm trying to tell you the truth. Okay. I really want to help y'all. I want you to take your complaints to God. Any complaint that you have, and I'm sure you have plenty. Okay. I want you to write your complaints down, and I want you to get in your prayer closet, and I want you to share your complaints with the Lord. Okay. You know what you can take to your spouse? You can take requests and solutions, not demands. Okay. Requests and solutions. There was an issue, there was a problem, you have a solution. You can take the solution to your husband, to your wife. Don't take your complaint. You got a complaint about your spouse, take it to the Lord, okay? You have a complaint about me, take it to the Lord. Don't bring me your complaints. This is not the complaint department. Do not take your spouse your complaints. They are not the complaint department. Take your complaints to the Lord, but feel free to take your request. I would love for you to do this. What's the difference between a complaint, a request, and a solution? Well, a complaint has no solution, and a complaint does not require any action. It's just a statement about something you do not like. I don't like it when you do this. It's an observation of a behavior or a pattern that you do not find appealing, right? You don't find it attractive. That's a complaint, right? Instead of saying, I don't like it when you always do this. And I'm telling you this not because I've mastered it, but because I've recognized in the moments where I take my complaints to the Lord, things actually get done. When I take my complaints to the Lord, changes and transformation begin to happen in my marriage. I don't even know how. I'd be like, oh, that's obviously the Lord. That's how, right? But taking your complaints to your spouse, that is not effective, efficient, it's not constructive, it is not helpful. There's really no good reason to take your complaints to your spouse. So save those for the Lord. You have a solution to a problem that you guys have been having, take the solution. Hey, babe, from now on, I'm going to do XYZ because, and this solves this problem. You know what, babe, from now on, I'm going to take care of XYZ. You know what, babe, I'm going to let you handle XYZ because I know it's really important to you. So I'm going to let you handle that, and I'll just support you. However, those are solutions. Request. Hey, babe, will you, do you feel like, would you be able to, are you willing to? A request is not a complaint, and it's not a demand, which brings me to my next piece of advice, which is, don't punish them for their no's, right? If it's a request and not a demand, it means that your spouse has the freedom to say no without any punishment or negative consequences. If they can't say no, it's a demand. And that is on you. We cannot be demanding in relationships. We can request. You have a request, make it known. Because the truth is, nobody likes being demanded. You're not about to demand nothing to me. No. And you might not about to tell me what to do. You know, my number one thing is, you are not the boss of me. That's my favorite thing to say. You are not the boss of me. But do you know what? Just like he's not the boss of me, I'm not the boss of him. He's a grown man. And so anything I want him to do or I'd like him to do, the best that I can do is request it. Hey, will you do this? It's honestly why I'm doing this video alone today. I asked him some questions yesterday, which he was very cooperative, and he answered the questions yesterday. I asked him to do the video with me today because it's our anniversary today, and he declined. And so I was very annoyed. I was so annoyed that he declined, and he probably felt my annoyance. You know, he probably felt my annoyance, but I don't want him to feel like there are consequences when he says no to my request. I'm not punishing him. I'm not icing him out. I just had to get my emotions in check because certainly my feelings felt away. right? Certainly my feelings were hurt, and then my feelings start to create this narrative, and you will hear yourself and other people say, well, if he loves you, or he could, yeah, he could, but if he has to, then my love has made him a prisoner. Right? He has to give up all his freedom to be himself in order to love me well. And I never want to be that wife. Now, we all got choices to make. And so, hey, but I don't want to be a wife where my love makes a prisoner of him. I want my love to free him. I want the love that he experiences in this marriage through me to be one that makes him feel like it's okay to be his absolute full authentic self, even if it means that I'm not going to get my way. Now, that is sometimes difficult to deal with, because as a human being, I always want my way, and I never want him to say no. I always want him to say yes. And I always expect for him to say yes if I'm being 100%. And I always feel a type of way when he say no. And at the same time, even though that might be true, that's not my standard. My standard is to not punish him for saying no, because it's not a request. I said to take your request and solutions, right, to problems to your spouse. It's not a request if they can't say no. It's a demand. And so if we want to have open and honest relationship, sometimes you'll go for years and be like, oh, I never knew you felt that way. Yeah, well, you made it clear that it's not okay for me to feel this way. It's not okay for me to do this or not do this. So I just kept it to myself. Right. And just as a little aside, please miss me with the things that I'm obviously not talking about. Right. There are obviously some standards and some things that you've agreed upon as a married couple. There are obviously values that you have as a married couple, things that are deal breakers, but not doing a YouTube video with me is not what I'm about to get divorced over or be separated about. You understand what I'm saying? That's not it. And so unless it's those core values that you have about marriage, outside of those, everything else is a request. Outside of the vows that you guys made and the standards that you've set together, not the standards that you came into the marriage with, but the standards that you set together. Outside of that, child, it's a request, and people can say no. Your spouse can say no. So let's just keep it moving. Another piece of advice: never stop learning about your spouse so that you can serve them better. Right? Never stop learning about your spouse so that you can serve them better. First of all, if you think that the man I married on March 2nd, 2001 is the same man with the same needs and the same preferences and the same mindset as the man I am married to on today, March 2nd, 2002, then you don't know how life works, okay? He is not the same. He's not the same. He's a different person. He has had life experiences as an individual. He has had life experiences as a husband. We've gone through things in this marriage, and we've grown up, and we might have even changed our position on things that we started with in 2001. This idea that a person is going to stay the same, and that they have to stay the same in order for you to stay married till death do you part is a setup. But if you commit to being a constant student of your spouse, learning them and their preferences and what they need as far as support, then you'll always be in a place to serve them at the best of your ability, in a way that they need in that whatever season of life they're in. I was just listening to a book the other day, and they were talking about my husband's tendency, right? And my husband's a rebel. If you've read the 4 tendencies, I'm a questioner. He's a rebel. And so I'm listening to this, audio book, and he's sitting in the living room, but I have it on my headphones, and I'm like, wow. And I'm taking notes. And then he's looking at me and he's laughing, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, we've been together all this time and you're still studying me and taking notes on me. And I just laughed and I smiled at him, and I was like, yeah, because I just want to love you better today than I did yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So the more I can learn about him, the better of a wife I can be to him. And he definitely keeps me on my toes, right? As a wife. And so, I mean, just leading with that, like leading from a place of like, I want to constantly be paying attention and learning what his preferences is, what he likes, when he likes it, how he likes it, what he doesn't like, what he tolerates, what he would prefer I not to, just becoming a better student of him, just being committed to learning about your spouse, so that you can serve them better. And this is the last one. I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to, I mean, this is just my advice, like strive to be the greatest love that he's ever experienced on this earth outside of Jesus, right? I want to be the greatest source of human love to my spouse that he has ever experienced or he ever even deemed possible, right? Like that is my own personal goal in this marriage. I'm not saying that I don't have things that I want and desire from him, but I'm saying that my focus, right? You got to focus on the things that you have control over. And I don't have control over how he loves me. I have control over how I communicate what I need. I have control over how I respond to him, and I have control over my own happiness and making sure that I'm mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, healthy. I have full control over how I love him. 100% control over how I love him. And if there ever comes a time where I can't love him the way Christ is calling me to love him, then I need to make some adjustments in myself. Then I need to lay myself at the altar so I can truly be an example of that type of love for him, right? Because I am flesh of his flesh. I'm the rib of his rib. You understand what I'm saying? We one flesh. And so my goal, like I am striving to be the greatest love he has ever experienced on this earth. I don't want another person breathing in and out to love him better than I love him. Absolutely not. No, not me. And it's not about like, so much like what he deserves or any of that. It's my own standard for myself, right? I want to leave you with this. It can be difficult to take this advice in when we are not self-first minded, when we are self-centered, right? When we are self-centered, it puts us at the center of the relationship. And it means that that person has a responsibility to me, and that's my focus. When I have a self-first mindset, when I realize that I need to work on myself first, that I need to take care of my mental, physical, emotional needs first so that I can love my spouse better, it puts me in a place where my growth is my focus instead of what I'm owed, what I want to give, how I want to be, who I want to become, what I want to reflect becomes the thing that I become obsessed with. It becomes the thing that is my main focus. It becomes the hallmark of my prayer request to God. It's not so much, God, can you make him over? It is, God, can you make me over? Right? And that just puts you in a place where you can experience love and you can be the one bringing health and healing to your marriage, even when your spouse is unable to do so. Even if your spouse is in a difficult space or in a difficult spot and dealing with some things, you can bring the health and the love and the healing to a marriage, even when your spouse doesn't come to the table. I know somebody has said, well, we both got to be willing to come to the table. Nope. I'm willing to come to the table, and I'm going to bring the Lord with me when I come. And my focus is going to be on how can I, as the wife, bring more love, healing, compassion, grace, forgiveness, right? Not more debt. Oh, you owe me this, you owe me that. Not more debt. How can I pour into this marriage? How can I become a woman who pours in more grace, more love, more forgiveness, more kindness, more mercy? You understand? More strength, more prayers, more oil, more anointing to this marriage, because I see that my marriage needs help. When that is the focus of any spouse, right? Now your marriage got somebody fighting for it. right? Now your marriage got a chance. But if everybody is just waiting for the other person to do better, then it's probably not going to work out. Okay. I hope this has blessed you. I am so excited. Like 21 years. Oh my goodness, so amazing. If you want to hear more about kind of the ins and outs of our marriage, a lot of the things that we went through, then you need to get the book, Power Principles of Courageous Living, How I Overcame Depression and Took Back My Life. My marriage was definitely a central part of that story. My relationship with Mike is certainly a central part of that story. I'm 41. This means I have been married to him longer than half my life. And I have certainly been in relationship with him for more than half my life, right? So just keep that in mind. Go ahead and get the book so you can get all the dirty laundry that you're wondering about. Because I promise you, we don't look like what we've been through. All right. I love you guys. Now listen, if you love this, if you understand that this is going to help you, I want you to do me a favor. Drop an emoji or let me know what your greatest takeaway was in the comments below. Share this with a person you love and you want to have a great relationship with. Anybody you want to have a better relationship with, whether it is platonic, whether it is in your family, or whether it is romantic, then send this video to them and go ahead and head over to A&O as TGIW continues. All right. Love you. Bye.